The morning sun poured gently over the rooftops of the Nigerian Army barracks in Obin's Barracks, Owerri. Roosters crowed, children's footsteps echoed on the corridor tiles, and the aroma of fried plantain drifted from kitchen windows. But in one home, the bed remained neatly arranged, one side untouched, cold, and empty. Mrs. Omobola Olusegun rose at 5 a.m., not because she wanted to, but because she had to. Her husband, Warrant Officer Oladikan Olusegun, had been deployed to the Northeast 2 months earlier for a 6-month rotation. This wasn't their first separation, but every time felt like a fresh wound. She stretched, glanced at the photo of Olusegun in his camouflage uniform hanging above the TV, and whispered her usual prayer, "God, guide him and bring him home safely." Down the hall, their twin daughters, Mary and Miracle, barely 4 years old, were already awake, asking when Daddy would call. Omobola offered them a tight smile. Soon, by God's grace. For military families, time is not measured in minutes or hours, it's measured in calls received, texts replied, or weeks since the last voice note. Mrs. Martha Peter, whose husband is part of the 82 Division station in Enugu, hasn't heard his voice in 3 weeks. Network is bad, he often texts. But she knows what that usually means. His unit is on a high-risk mission, likely facing armed insurgents or bandits. What people outside the barracks don't see is the weight these women carry, alone. They attend school meetings, handle medical emergencies, fix broken phones, and manage finances, all while checking their phones every hour, hoping for news, any news. Sometimes, it's not the absence of communication that breaks them. It's the suddenness of bad news. A knock at the door. A phone call from an unfamiliar number. A rumor. In these moments, fear is not just imagined, it becomes tangible. Not all sacrifices are made in silence. Some are shouted through tears. Others are whispered through resilience. Sergeant Helen Maiga of the Nigerian Army Artillery Corps is a soldier herself, but also a mother of 2. She knows what it feels like to deploy and to be the one left behind. The worst part, she says, is when your child has a fever, and you're not allowed to come home. It eats you up inside. You want to be a hero for the country, but also for your child. And sometimes, you can't be both. Helen's story reflects a painful irony. Military women also endure the same emotional toll their husbands do, but often in silence. Their sacrifices are double-layered. Military wives in Nigeria often form informal support groups, circles of comfort, prayer, and shared pain. They understand one another without needing to explain. At the staff quarters in Owerri Cantonment, these women gather every Friday evening. Not just to chat or eat together, but to cope. They exchange stories of surviving blackouts, of children asking about their fathers, and of moments when anxiety gave them migraines. I once fainted from stress, says Mrs. Grace Christopher, whose husband has been deployed 6 times in 10 years. It's the loneliness. You sleep alone, eat alone, worry alone. Many suffer from undiagnosed depression, but remain strong for their children. Some keep journals. Others cry silently into their pillows. Most just endure, because there is no other choice. When deployment ends and a soldier returns, it should be a happy ending. But for many families, reunion is just a pause before the next separation. When Olusegun returned to Omobola after 6 long months, his daughters had nearly forgotten his voice. Omobola cooked his favorite yam and pepper soup. They laughed, talked, held each other under the moonlight. But in the back of their minds, the countdown had already begun. He would be posted out again. This cycle of love, distance, and uncertainty is the real story behind military marriages in Nigeria.
Children ask, when will Dad come home? She hides the ache, though she feels alone. A picture by the bed, his voice on the phone. Her heart's a battlefield,